Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and let me introduce you Junior's Pride. Now I found this model, I found a video on YouTube about one of you experienced builders that built one, and it flew actually very nicely. So I thought, in my frustration that I can't get anything to fly, it might be a good idea to go back to basics. It's made of balsa, which is fun, and it might actually fly or glide actually quite well. So I went ahead and printed this out. I cut out the template as was explained in the video. I stuck it on card and then I put it on wood, and I built one. Let me show it to you. Now the guidance is here is to build out of something like it's 1/32 I think it is, which is like 1 millimeter. I didn't have 1 millimeter, so I have only like 1.5 millimeter. I built this one and I trimmed it at home over the bed, and I put in a 5-gram weight. These are the weights that you put on wheels. When you go and change your wheels from winter to summer tires, they have to put on these and take them off. So at the mechanics I just collect them, and this one actually flew quite well. This was 1.5 millimeter. Then I was thinking maybe I should do it with 1 millimeter balsa. I didn't have it at the time, so I went to the shop and got some, and I built this other one. It's like less than half a gram of a difference, and it doesn't fly so well because probably a little bit maybe in a rush. There's also a mistake. If you see here the tail plane, I glued it on backwards. So, but anyhow, it doesn't fly bad at all. As a chuck glider, seems to be good. I just need to find the time and the moment to go and try them outside. But then I also thought, why not make it even bigger? So that's what I did. So I had the plan blown up to double the size. It was the second attempt because it's more than an A3. This is an A4, but the double is more than an A3, so it had to be special size. This is then the tail part, and I've got all the templates for it. And during today, it just takes like 2-3 days to build, and between other activities I managed to build it, which is actually very nice. It's also 1.5 millimeter. The whole structure, just a little bit I put in 2 millimeter on the let's say the stronger structure, what I think need to be a bit more. And also the nose cone is made out of a combined, it's kind of laminated. But overall quite good. I've only just trimmed it out. I've had to put in there, I think, 10 grams of those weights, so 2 of those weights, and quite a lot of plastiline. You probably can't see it, it's down there. And I trimmed it over the bed, and it seems to glide also quite nicely. So I'm going to need to find, and maybe tomorrow, I maybe put it in the car, and then tomorrow when I'm driving around I might find a field or something that I can just chuck them out and see how they glide. And if they fly well, that's somehow encouraging, because as I say, my flying is not coming in very well. In terms of weight, the small ones, they come at around 11 to 12 grams, somewhere there, which is okay. Both of them are pretty much the same. And this big one, which is twice the size, is 5 times the weight. So it's almost 50 grams, it's 49 grams, which is also interesting, right? Like, it's double the size, doesn't mean double the weight. It means like 5 times the weight, which is logical because it's much more volume, much more material, and also much more nose weight needed, of course. So that is the plan now. I also did some modifications by putting more ribs, so it's kind of understandable that it's 50 grams. And then the plan is, let's see if I can show you also in this video, find a spot and calm weather and throw them out and see how they behave, and hopefully they fly, and then I can get to fly other things, rubber powered and RCs and things like that. So hold on to this one, let's see what I bring. So there you've seen most of the flights, so not all, but most of the flights that I've been doing with the chuck gliders. One of the small ones I've already given away. It's broken several times, and I suppose this one will also break. The one I gave away, it has probably a life expectation of like 5 minutes when it's thrown out by its new owner, who's 7 years old, I think. In overall, I would say that as I was editing the video, I was doing a little bit of the analysis also, so I think it's good also to let you know what's going on. I'm also trying to train my new cameraman, as you might have seen a little bit there in a moment of relax. That's why it's a little bit wobbly, but it's also wobbly when I try to film. So basically, a lot of bad flights, a lot of lessons learned. I had to do things like wrong, like not once, not twice, but maybe 5 or 6 times before I start to correct my technique in launching. But a couple of very nice ones, and not all of them on camera, but at least a few on camera, and some, I would say maybe 15, maybe even 20 meter ones, which I'm really very happy with, the double side one. So this is actually the original size, and this is then twice, so this basically fits on a wing, right? So that is almost, maybe it's not quite, but it should be approximately double size, maybe it's not quite. Good characteristics, I think. I did have to put in more weight, and I had to fix it in. You probably can't see it with some pins, because on one of the flights, I think on the first session, I think the last one, the weight just got loose, so it completely stalled. It went nose up and then down. It got some hits. You can't see it, but there are some cracks there in the front nose block. But it is actually holding out quite a lot of hits, which I'm also happy about. There are somewhere, I would say, nice landing marks here. I don't know if you can see them from the grass, but overall very good. As a lesson learned, of course, is that the weight and balance is very important, and even if it is good, because indoors it did fly very well. Indoors it's just in a bedroom, right? So I can't really tell, but it does seem to have the weight and balance spot on. But there's a big impact of the wind. Even a very, very slight tailwind that I detected at one point, and I turned around, was really like throwing it completely off its mark. So again, it's probably more of an indoor one than anything else. But lessons learned, how important, and you all know that, we all know it, but it's not always easy to figure out where the center of gravity has to be for a model. The next challenge might be, well, I do recommend actually to build the big one, because it is fun and it's quite solid. I don't know how much it weighs now, more than before for sure, because I did have to put in more weight. But maybe then the next challenge might be to do another one of this size, because I do have the templates, and maybe put a rubber motor on it and see how that flies. Let's see, because I have the feeling, as I struggle to fly with anything, maybe going back to the basics with the chuck gliders and getting them to fly, learning the center of gravity, the launches and things like that, to maybe learn again from the beginning, back to basics. So very recommendable, enjoyable build, a lot of balsa build, and enjoyable flights. I put again the nice one that we did record, one of the last ones that we did get, because it was really nice, and I think like 4 or 5 seconds even, and then I leave it there. So thank you everybody for following along, and I'll see you next time.